A very good morning to one and all present over here, teachers, school leaders, directors, chairmen. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop. We have been doing this for quite some time right now in order to inculcate a little bit of awareness on like all the teachers, education fraternity out there about the updates on Indian education system and various other countries as well. Thank you so much for joining. And I think some of your colleagues and friends are not able to join, and I'm getting continuous calls. We have the YouTube live link as well, which we will be sharing on the chat right away. Swati and SuperTeacher team members, please put it on the chat as soon as possible. Please share this with the other people so that they can join in the YouTube live. That's totally fine. And YouTube live is happening, so the material or the video will be present on YouTube as well for a longer period of time. So that's with respect to for the people who are not able to join, though they are not here. I apologize for having only 500 as of now. I'm running short of, this thing, and I'll make sure that from upcoming few weeks onwards, we'll increase it to 1,000 capacity. But as of now, we'll make sure we run with 500 only. Anyways, thank you so much for joining, and let's quickly start with today's agenda, and that's going to be something on school-based assessment. Now, school-based assessment. Assessment every time happens in the school. I mean, what is so different about school-based assessment? Over the period of time, the way exams were conducted got changed to a large extent. Of course, that's there, but many teachers or many educators out there started using assessment as a tool to convey a particular message. You would have heard about Socratic way of questioning, where you ask something, children answer something else, and children come back again with something on which you ask another question. Again, they come back with something and you ask another question on that. So something like Socratic over there. Some people started using questions from knowledge aspects, like, do you know the capital city of India? It was New Delhi. New Delhi was the place where actually Mughal dynasty started their reign, or it can be specific about Panipat or things like that, but they begin with questions. On an average, each day, it is said that a small research, a teacher asks around 400 questions to a particular child. Now, that's huge. That includes, did you understand? Even those kind of questions. But anyways, assessments has been playing an important role in a teacher's and student's life. Now, this is having said that the assessment is quite important. The kind of system that we are into right now, which is competency based education, this is also completely an assessment oriented curriculum. And when we talk about assessment oriented curriculum, in fact, it was more of in India became prominent right after the PISA test, and all the competencies that we are going to use in the upcoming board paper as well is going to be based on PISA competencies of scientific literacy, mathematical literacy, and reading literacy. Under scientific literacy, you've got certain competencies. Under math, you've got certain, and under reading also, you've got certain competencies, which you can find in the CBE resources from CBSE website. Okay, that is the second aspect of assessment. Now, school-based assessment, how is it really different? Back in those days, just like any other time, if we have to understand a concept that is quite new, we need to understand the history behind it. A small history is Indian education system came up with an idea of something called as CCE. I think you would have heard about it. CCE, have you heard about it, teachers? Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. And they came up with fantastic systems out there. People loved it. People thought that this will definitely take the education system to the next level, and students are going to have holistic development. That was the agenda, holistic development. But unfortunately, the reporting process was very rigorous. The number of steps that were involved in CCE is too much. People misinterpreted what CC is all about. I'm going to show all these things to you a little while later, because of which CC was not successful. Hence came school-based assessment. Now, school-based assessment as a terminology is not only for CBSE, it is applicable for CBSE in India, ICSE, state board syllabus as well. But this is actually a global terminology. If you just Google a little bit about school-based assessment, you will find Singapore, Malaysia, United States, London, and many other countries, working on school-based assessment. So what exactly school-based assessment? Which are the places that we can learn about school-based assessment? What is so important about school-based assessment? Is it really possible by the teacher to implement in one academic year? Can I learn about this? Is there any place from where I can learn about this? Okay, all these are going to be some of the pointers that we will be discussing in this next 40 to 45 minutes. And then right after that, I'll be talking about the continuous professional development training programs that we keep conducting. And we are going to start the last batch on 26th June. It'll be 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, Monday to Friday. For this academic year, that's going to be the last batch for us, because right after that, my travel will start. Our trainers will not be available. More importantly, the schools will start, right? I think for the people who are there from North right now who have joined, this is the beginning of your summer vacation, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, happy vacation to all of you. And for the people who are like somewhere in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and southern part of India, I think now the school has already begun. From Monday it's starting, I guess, if I'm not. Yeah. Yes. So this is with respect to you know the CPD programs which I'll be completing, and then if anybody's interested, you can participate from SuperTeacher.in website. Our okay, June 1st. Our trainers will be uploading the details on the not Google Chat, this Zoom chat right away. Let me share my screen and show you what I'm intending to speak on: school-based assessment. It's going to be quite an interesting session, and most of you actually know about it. Not that you do not know, just that the terminology is little new, and this terminology actually dates back to 2018, when CC was just becoming dull. So here we go. So school-based assessment as per NEP 2020. The moment I mention as per NEP 2020, it's important for me to cite out the place from where it is mentioned, right? So let's go to that particular slide. So NEP mentions page number 18, 4.35 is the pointer. The progress card of all students for school-based assessment, which is communicated by schools to parents, will be completely redesigned by states, union territories, under guidance from the proposed National Assessment Center, NAS or NAC, NCRT and SCRTs. The progress card will be holistic, 360-degree, multi-dimensional report that reflects in great detail the progress as well as the uniqueness of each learner in the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. Does that ring a bell, teachers? Cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains? Benjamin Bloom, exactly, Bloom's taxonomy. It will include self-assessment and peer assessment, and progress of the child in project-based and inquiry-based learning, quizzes, role plays, group work, portfolios, etc. We're going to get into the details of all these things along with the teacher assessment. The holistic progress card will form an important link between home and school and will be accompanied by parent-teacher meetings in order to actively involve parents in the children's holistic education and development. This is not new. This was already there. Many principals out there are already following this. Let's see what's new about this. The progress card would also provide teachers and parents with valuable information on how to support each student in and out of the classroom. Okay, now this is interesting. AI-based software could be developed and used by the students to help track their growth with their school years based on learning data and interactive questionnaires for parents, students, and teachers in order to provide students with valuable information on their strengths, areas of interest, and needed areas of focus, and to thereby help them make optimal career choices. Now, this is something really interesting from a policy perspective. They have given here, they've even said that AI-based software. Now, when we talk about AI-based software, it simply means that the software will be able to tell the children, you were at this level, now you are at this level, and now you're at this level. Some kind of a progression the software should show. Let's talk about that a little later. Let's directly go to the next one. So the moment we get into school-based assessment, we wanted to understand what is CCE. Now, CCE as a program is exactly the same as SBA. The point is, I think I should reiterate by saying that school-based assessment has got the complete algorithm of CCE, not from implementation perspective, but from objective perspective. Whatever CCE as a learning outcome wanted, school-based assessment is going to serve that. Now, why did CCE, have so many challenges, and what went wrong? Because of which today we are talking something called a school-based assessment. The first one is, conceptually there were no issues, but that was a huge task in implementation. Now, when we talk about implementation, there were too many steps in CCE. Some people even misinterpreted CCE as some sort of a written exam. It was actually not the case. Some school misinterpreted CCE as only the sports and co-curricular activities. Again, that was not the case. Some teachers or some schools even misinterpreted CCE as more like values, morals, how do they behave in the class and things like that. But the point is, none of them were actually wrong. the way of conduction was somewhere wrong according to NCRT. Now, whatever I'm speaking, I'm directly speaking from the course of school-based assessment, which is already present on NCRT website. I would request everybody to please complete this course. Whatever I'm speaking is more like a summary of that particular course. So formative results was getting displayed on summative report card. Now, this is very interesting point because just imagine formative assessment is all about what the child is doing right now. You conduct a chapter on algebraic expressions. We immediately ask few questions to children. We understand they are having good understanding about polynomials, degree of an algebraic expressions. Everything is pretty good. That's formative. You're asking then and there. The moment you ask this, do you really think the result of this can be put on summative report card? Key, on that particular day, this child has done something. What we do, we try to have something called as a cumulative score. And this cumulative score is an accumulation of multiple formative assessments, which is actually not the right point of coming in summative report cards. Why? Because summative assessments in Indian education system, which is more like half yearly or annual exams, predominantly annual exams, are conducted for facilitating the certification of the children that they have completed so and so grade. Summative is for none other purpose. The main purpose is for making the children eligible from one grade to another grade, more like some sort of a certification that they have completed the course of grade 6. It was conducted, but unfortunately somewhere formative assessment cumulative scores also started getting displayed on report cards. If at all that has to happen, that means if at all formative assessment report has to be present in report card, then the report card should be given to the children from day 1 of the school. So let's have a report card and let's see the progress. And that report card which you're going to have from day 1 will be more like a very big portfolio. Now we will talk about what is portfolio. A school can maintain a separate record of what the child was in the month of June, July, August, September, and it can gradually take, and finally you can have a smaller portfolio or a smaller report card talking about what the children is all about. We are talking about assessments. Hence, it is all about reporting where the child is or where the child was, where the child might be. So it's all about that. That's the reason we're talking about reporting to a large extent. Summative purpose is to facilitate certification, but formative assessment objective is not that. And that is the reason CCs gradually, fell down the ladder. Again, the objective of CC was not wrong, but the implementation was a problem. Reporting was a very big challenge. Now we have got a lot of technological advancements. We have got multiple government bodies out there in the respective locations, Center of Excellences, DIET, SCRTs, lot of things in fact, and these centers are regularly in touch with government and government aided schools, even few private schools as well, for getting an understanding of what's happening in the school. Reporting is quite an easy task now, but back in the year 2017 or 16 academic year onwards, it was not that easy. Technology was no much not available, so reporting was a challenge. I liked one more point that I found in some other video, which said that the primary purpose of a teacher is to teach. But because of this reporting, there came a huge amount of burden because of the documentation of all these things. Somewhere the primary purpose of teacher was getting carried away to the ad hoc work that come into picture into the school, like reporting of where the children are and things like that. Documentation is an important aspect of a school, important art, but not at the cost of burdening a teacher in compromising her teaching, learning strategies, preparation, or conduction of the classes, things like that. So even now, if there are schools out there, there are a lot of softwares that are coming out, teachers where or principals where a lot of documentation could be done in a very very simple manner. Today also I'll be showing you one of the amazing AI tool. Most of you might know about it, but I would request everybody to, a whole policy got changed just because of documentation. Just imagine, we have got SBA right now from CC. Finally, it became periodic rather than continuous. Though we say continuous comprehensive evaluation, the word evaluation gave significant importance to school leaders and teachers that this has to be more like an exam. And even now at NEP grade 3, 5, 8 ka jo safal paper that we're talking about, even that is considered to be more like an exam, but it's actually something called as assessment as learning. So SBA and CC, these are the things. And now we're going to quickly get into what is SBA all about. Summative is completely a written test. Before that, assessments can be categorized into 3 areas. We all know that, right? Assessment of learning, assessment for learning, and assessment as learning. Now, when we talk about off learning, it is all about whatever the children have covered. You ask a question after a certain period of time, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. and you check what the children have learned. But something really amazing is assessment for learning and assessment as learning. Now, for learning and as learning, what is so different about it? For learning is all about conducting an assessment before even the chapter is taught. Now, according to school-based assessment and the people at NCRT, to be even more specific, Professor Y. Shrikant, he's the principal at Regional Institute of Education, Mysore. So he very nicely says that when we talk about assessment for learning or as learning, it's not a documented paper where you tell the children tomorrow come, you are going to have a test. The children should not even know that they are being assessed. So this is something really amazing from a teacher point of view, and we all do that. I mean, it's not that we don't do, but just imagine if it comes as a policy and everybody comes to know about it, rather than implementing for and as assessment as learning, if we conduct in a manner like the children don't even know about it, then comes the learning for you, for teachers, that so and so child is at so and so level. Now how do we do that is a different story which we'll be learning about. But assessment for learning is something that's conducted just before the conduction of actual topics. Assessment as learning happens simultaneously when the classes are happening. But what's really interesting about assessment as learning is it just not gives information about what the children have understood. No, that's not the point of view. The point of view is, as a teacher, what have we done for the children to understand so and so concept correctly or wrongly? I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it. Assessment as learning is more like a process that happens in the class where you keep asking questions to children and they answer it. And the children should not even know that they're being assessed. But whatever the report that you get, you ask a question and the children is answering wrong. It is not that the children did not understand. It gives a report that as a teacher, I need to give another one or two examples to make them understand it correctly. It's more from teacher perspective rather than student perspective. So assessment as learning is just not about student centric approach. It's completely based on a teacher centric approach. Now that is something very new that can I mean, at least as a definition point of view, school based assessment talks about assessment as and for learning. Off learning, no. School based assessment, no. For learning as learning, school-based assessment. Yeah, making some sense? Let's go forward. Let's go forward. We're almost there. We are almost there. And for that, I would like to share my screen once more. Okay, so it's BNCC. Now, National Achievement Survey, NAS, you have got nas.gov.in. Once CC was completed, they made a very good report on what exactly happened. And they found whatever we spoke about, the challenges and the difficulties, and they gave this report. It's there in the website. You can actually download and look into it. For the time purpose, we're not getting into that detail. For us, the focus is school-based assessment. And with that learning, then came school-based assessment into existence. So how nicely CC is getting, reframed as a terminology called as school-based assessment. You should see that. Some of you might say that back in those days we already knew about it, and CBSE is already messing it up. We completely know about it. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. What to do as an organization in Indian education system for a policy to get seeped from the policymakers to the school? It takes a long time. It takes a very long time. Anyways, this is school-based assessment. Watch this. School-based assessment need not be paper and pen test. It has to be something like this. So school-based assessment techniques, you've got observations. You've got something amazing called as self-assessment. You've got something called as peer assessment, group work assessment, portfolio assessment, feedback mechanisms, authentic assessment. We're going to talk about it. Use of rubrics in assessment, project work, laboratory work, anecdotal records, checklist, rating scales, focus group discussions, reflective diary, log or journal. Now, these are some of the things that come under the category of school-based assessment. If you look into CC document, even that's going to talk about this to a large extent. Now, here you might understand what are like school-based assessment techniques. Now, this is from a teacher to the student. Now, when we talk about observations, it's from the teacher perspective. Suppose if a class of 40 children are there, you're able to see that children are regularly able to answer, but there are 2 or 3 children who are not able to understand anytime. And you're able to see this in last 2 to 3 periods. You go to them and you understand what's the problem. You understand that they are actually not able to hear you properly. Maybe because they are sitting at the last, or maybe because your voice is very low. Now, this is called as observation. Or the children could have hearing problems also. Now, the children could have hearing problems is present in the course as well. That's why I'm taking that example. It's important for a teacher to make sure that we observe the class properly, and this comes under the category of school-based assessment. What are we assessing? We are assessing over here if the children are able to understand or listen to us because of an external factors like voice. They're there sitting at the last, or the class is noisy, or they're sitting near the window. Observation. I hope you're able to understand this. Now, this particular assessment that you're doing with the children need not be reported. So school-based assessment does not have a reporting mechanism at all. They've completely removed the documentation of reporting to CBSE or any COE. And they said that let's focus on a teacher, and the teacher can conduct the school-based assessment the way they want. And that is the reason observation has come under this category, and a teacher can make a note of so and so child. It's just for a teacher portfolio. They can keep a record. Self-assessment is all about giving a task to children and asking them to rate it out of a certain score. But before asking them to rate it out of a certain score, you need to give an ideal answer to the children. For example, an English teacher is asking one of the child to write an essay on say global warming. I'm just giving random example, and the children are writing a very good essay. Multiple people are writing. Now you come up with an idea of an ideal global warming essay, give it to all the children and ask them to self-assess how relevant your workflow is, how relevant your writing skills are, and then we compare, and the children give marks to themselves. And some of you are already thinking, if it is my children, my set of children in my school, they'll obviously give 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Teachers, initially the children will have a little bit of naughtiness in them, and that's why they're children, because of which it will not be taken seriously. But over the period of time, it will become serious, and this is observed. And I'll tell you one more factor that can get it serious is the next aspect called as peer assessment. Once you assess for yourself, the children actually redistribute their work to other children. I think some of you would have done this. At least in my school days, my teacher used to do this. We used to write an answer and exchange the papers with your partners, or row one exchange your papers with row two. If you have done this, you can put it on the chat. So something like that we used to do, and peer assessment used to happen. But now that's going to happen on a serious manner. That's it. And during peer assessments, the seriousness has got little increased. What's really important here is sometimes if the children are really good friends, then they'll be like, yeah, you mera dost hai, so let me put the full marks. So such identifications should be done by the teacher, but eventually that will also become serious. It's all about the way the teacher is projecting. I'm going to show you one small demonstration of school-based assessment by NCRT. It's a pre-scripted one, but you'll definitely like it. I'll show you the video. Right after that, group work assessment. It's about, you already understand, I guess. Multiple groups are created. Group one assessing about the group two assessing about group four, and things like that. Portfolio assessment is very important, teachers. Now, portfolio assessment has a record of children's developments right from the beginning of the academic year. Now, when we say a record of children, suppose a child is writing an essay in the month of June. The same child has to be given a task of writing another essay in the month of probably September or October, another essay in the month of probably December or January, and another in the month of February, with specific intervals. If the child is writing something like this, this has to be recorded on the portfolio, the way the essay got improved. Now that is called as something like rating scales, which you can see on the other side. Rating scales where initially the rating was so and so, and now it has got developed. So the maintenance of all the records of all the activities that the children have done in a separate document could be portfolio. So now, while a school is telling parents and the children, tomorrow the school begins, remember to bring your textbooks, notebooks, and your portfolio file could be another statement. So portfolio file could be another file, which could be there in the school itself. The children need not carry it, but depending on the school, there we will have all the work done by the children. In fact, in art integrated learning methodology, they even say that one of the project work has to be done by students which has got art integration in it, specifically Indian art form. I think you all know about it, right? So that particular activity of project work could be part of portfolio. In that way, the children can learn. One of the schools here in Bangalore, the child had actually created a website in which he's updating all the information about what he has been doing right from the first. And this is an 8th standard student, and he got support of some computer teacher, and he's doing this. So a digital portfolio could also be applicable in this case. Why am I saying this? Because we're not going to report this. We don't want this as a particular format to be submitted to anyone. It's going to be completely dependent on that teacher of that school. So a child can have multiple formats of portfolios. And there also you can test the creativity of a particular child. I'm going to show you portfolio ka separate document. It's quite interesting, again by NCRT. I'll repeat it. This is not only for CBSE teachers. This is applicable for CBSE, ICSE, and state board schools because they're following NEP 2020. Let's go. Feedback mechanism is by peers and teachers. Authentic assessment is interesting, where a school should give a genuine, authentic activity to children. Now, when you say, just imagine Kavita ma'am is present out there. She's the teacher as she's conducting the class for Pallavi and Aprajita. Now she's saying that today's class was all about the migration or urbanization of people from so rural areas to the cities. Go to your apartment or go to your local area, just find two streets, go visit 10 families and ask their origin. Now, this is where the children actually go, knock the doors of respective family members or the house, and they take a record like where did they come from, when did they come from. This is called as authentic assessment. Authentic assessment is all about making that activity happen in reality as if you are representing some kind of a community helper. So authentic assessment has been found to be very, very important from life skills point of view as well. I'm very sure many schools are actually doing it, but under school-based assessment, if you can include this as a mandatory activity, it will be great. Max teachers can give activity like try to come up with all the triangular structures that are there in and around you. Like it could be bridges. Why? Because they've got the stability out there. It could be the basement of a particular building. Why? They've got the stability out there, something like that. So any example could be given, and it could be authentic assessment where the children are actually doing an activity. They had given one more important example on that. uh, Pollution in rivers. If you see the NCRT course, you'll be able to find that activity. The children have to go to the rivers, or they should find it on internet, like which is that river which is highly polluted. Try to take a selfie in front of that and come back. Now this is somewhere, rivers is quite a vague thing. India is a peninsular country, so most schools who are there in the coastal areas can do this, but people who are there in Bhopal has got a beautiful lake, land of lakes, so you could do anything. But point is making the children be on the field and experience the chapter by doing an activity is called as authentic assessment. Use of rubrics in assessment is all about, next point is use of rubrics. The children come up with the criteria of how to judge a particular project. Just imagine Vaishali ma'am has completed. Vaishali is one of the students in a school. She has completed one of the activities, and the other children in the class, have to say something. Like if I am the teacher, I say, hello children, Vaishali has completed this activity. Can you tell me what are the areas under which we can judge Vaishali's work? The children will like neatness, they will say. They'll say that rather than neatness, we will have one more point called as timely submission. Okay, very good. Anything else? Anything else? So when we keep probing the children, they come up with criterias of evaluation. Now that's his rubrics in assessment. The demonstration that I'm going to show you right now will have that. So rubrics are also decided by the children. Sometimes you'll see that these rubrics and assessments of peers and children self-assessment and all will help us in understanding multiple children. Our burden as a teacher will get reduced to a large extent. Try doing this. It's all about the way you implement it. Project work, we all know any project work could be done. Again, it has got complete life skill in it. The students have to go to a real-time scenario and then do it. Laboratory work is also another classification. It's important for all the children from grade 6 onwards to get inside the lab at least thrice in a particular academic year, depending on the facilities of lab. Now, when you talk about laboratory work, it could be an experimentation on peeling the onion cell, but that's for higher classes. For lower classes, for class 6, probably you can talk about reflection of light, refraction of light, or at least show the creatures that are present dead in the formalin liquid over there and say that this is how the preservation happens and things like that. So that's coming under laboratory work, and the children's participation over there again comes as an assessment criteria. Anecdotal records. So this is also interesting, but these records are not compulsory. It's like you write something about yourself. Like it's like I am vibrant Vasudevan, and I really like working on so and so topic, and you talk about yourself. Anecdotal records. And this is not more from assessment, it's more from self-importance. You give value to yourself, and based on that, so this anecdotal records could be the top of any portfolio. Checklist is again another thing. All the activities that a teacher would like to conduct in a particular academic year and given to the children, and children keep on putting a tick mark for all these things. Rating scales, rating about yourself and rating about your peers. This is about like what they are doing related to moral values. They are disciplined in the class, they come on time to the class, they eat food and they share food, all these aspects, and they give importance to specially special children in the class. Yeah. Focus group discussion is all about debates, all about competitions of elocutions, no, not elocutions as a group activity as such. This can be combined with project work and group work assessment. Reflective diary is all about the children writing a diary for themselves. I think most schools give diary to your children, if I'm not wrong. And finally, log or journal. It's like writing a blog. These days, children above the grade 8, I should say, have got their own Google blogs. What they have been doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis. They keep uploading content. Today, I played this game called as Free Fire, and this was amazing. I played with my friend, and I was able to kill him in few seconds, something like that. Now, we need to be aware with the children surrounding right now. What are they exposed to right now? And that can be understood only by interacting with the children as much as possible. That's it. That's it. So these are some of the areas of school-based assessment techniques, teachers. Nothing else. Now, if you look into this very carefully, not even a single point over here was related to pen and paper. School-based assessment is more from the perspective of a children's holistic development, and pen and paper is, not really, ideal for school-based assessment. Which in geography you follow it. Portfolios have to be carried forward. Yes, Deepthi ma'am, it has to be only essay. We rewrite test records. Okay, that could be do it. Oh, you have done it for grade 4 and 5. Okay, you use it already, Preeti ma'am. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. So that's what. So most of us are actually doing this. It's not that we are not doing this, but right now it has become kind of a policy in NEP 2020 that it has to be done. Sometimes you could do this and you can display it on your school's website also for the children to be motivated. The best portfolio will be updated on the school website. How about that? Something like that. So let me show you the portfolio ka details for various subjects. Now this is also taken from the NCERT book. Portfolio is a purposeful systematic collection of student work that exhibits the students effort, progress and achievement in one or more areas. The collection must include students participation in selecting content or contents, the criteria for selection, the criteria for judging merit and evidence of students self-reflection. Watch this example of portfolios for different subjects. Science, you could have charts, graphs, projects, example, posters, lab reports, research reports, then tests, students' reflections, either weekly, monthly, or bi-monthly. All these are coming under science. Max Kelly samples of problem solving, written expressions of how to solve problems, real life examples, charts and graphs, students' reflection on, again, either monthly, weekly, or bi-monthly. Languages is huge. Reading log. Sometimes you give a task to the children. I was given the task of read the yesterday's newspaper of The Hindu and come and present the article. You could choose any article from page number 1 to 10, and we're supposed to do that. Something like that. Different types of writing, poems, essays, letters, vocabulary, achievements, tests, books, summaries, reports, dramatizations. This is fun in English, right? Generally, you have in the last page Shakespeare ka some drama, Julius Caesar. I do not know if it's there right now, but I used to have that. Then we have book summaries, reports, and then student reflections again. Social sciences, worksheets, essays, projects, models, map work, self-assessment sheets, pictures, observations, anecdotal records, and collage. So this is again with respect to social science. So these are some of the portfolio concept as mentioned in NCR. As mentioned in NCRT, I'm sorry, I got stuck. So this is with respect to portfolios. Let's quickly look into demonstration of the school-based assessment. Please watch this, teachers. And this is pre-scripted. I'll repeat it. This was scripted, and the children came and enacted. So this is not a live classroom demonstration. So don't go with the quality of the way they have conducted. Just understand the concept out of it. Chalo, let's go for it. I'm going to play the video.
Hello students.
Hi ma'am.
Shall we start today's activity?
Yes ma'am.
Today I thought I'll teach you how to make butterfly
Yes
in
ma'am.
origami. Okay? Shall we try?
Yes
For
ma'am.
which we need craft paper, gum, scissors and cutters. Okay? See, this is a rectangular shape, right? We'll make it square. How to make square? First make a triangle. Okay, this extra we will cut off. Now your paper is ready to make butterfly. Okay. Now, what is this shape?
Ma'am, triangle.
Triangle. Now we will make one more triangle out of this only. How to make? We will fold it in the middle. Again fold it. Now we will open this. All these folds we will make it upside. Okay. Good. Okay, now butterflies is ready. Okay, we have to assess and give some grades. Some grades means we have 3 grades here, A, B, C. What grade would you like to give to your butterflies and why? Can you explain? Manvi,
Ma'am, output model.
output model. Spurti.
Creative.
Space adjustment.
Decorations.
Decorations. Now, let us rate yourself among your work. Shall we start assessing each other's work?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I take Lenin's work first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How much are you going to grade for this?
Ma'am, A.
A,
B.
B, A,
Ma'am, A.
A. Why B, Spurti?
Ma'am, it is not correct.
Okay. So, you wanted to give B?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
So that's a small demonstration of a big video. Actually, it's around 12 minutes video. So I'm not getting into the complete video over here, but that was a small demonstration of an art integrated program. And the teacher is asking the children to, come up with the rubrics. And she's also asking the children to, assign marks to their peers. So peer assessment is also happening. Self-assessment is also happening. Children are giving the rubrics, and that's an interesting part according to school-based assessment. And this is happening with art integration. So this particular example or whatever we are looking at, teachers, this is also present on, the NCRT course. I will be sharing the link of it eventually. Now let me stop share the screen and talk about something called as the summary of it. And for the summary, we've come almost to the end of the session, and I think you're able to see the PDF. And wait a minute, I'm sorry. It's quite small if I'm not wrong. Okay. Sushila ma'am. Hello, I hope you're doing good. Okay. So I close this. Yes, here we go. Great. Now, when we talk about school-based assessment, so that's going to be the criteria, and whatever we have spoken or whatever is present on the course can be summarized something like this. Okay. So National Education Policy 2020, the transformation of assessment. That's somewhere assessment driven system, I should say, right? Competency based education. So here in this case, you have got assessment, and right under assessment, you've got something called a school based assessment. Assessment can be categorized into what, why, how, and all those things, summative, formative, and metacognition, and all those things. But right now, school-based assessment is the focus. What is the concept? What are the features? What are the procedures? We got to know all of these things. And we are measuring complex achievement over here, like portfolios, assessing essay, assessing laboratory skills, performance-based assessment, case study, and all such categories. And under that, we also have self-assessment, peer assessment, observation techniques, rubrics, and tests. So this is something kind of a summary of whatever we have gone through. And now I would like to show you the place from where you can actually go through the course of school-based assessment, and we'll also come to know about what are transversal competencies and the complex competencies. Here we go. So I hope, let me do it right from the beginning by sharing the screen so that everybody understands how to actually get over there. So I'm going to actually, it's module number 10 in the course of Nishtha 2.0 portal. But anyways, I'm going to type NCERT course on what is it? School-based assessment. Now I'm just typing it on Google like this, and the moment I do this, see, you are getting multiple links over here, but select the one which has got this course 10 school-based assessment, Nishtha NCRT. The moment you open it, This is how you get it. Now, once we talk about the course, you've got, it's open. It's open. That means anybody can learn this. Whatever we've spoken is more like a summary of whatever school-based assessment is. Some of the videos that you saw right now, the demonstration at least, it's not present in the course, but it's there on YouTube separately. So they talk about all the details. But right now, when you get into the school-based assessment, which according to NCRT, apart from whatever knowledge that we are imparting in the children, the life skills or application of these knowledge aspects can be done in the in the best manner in the real world scenarios only by school-based assessment. So the activities that we give in school-based assessment matter a lot, and these inculcate something called as transversal competencies, or let me show you how they look like. I would like to directly go over there, and transversal competencies. I would like to open it in a new tab. Transversal competencies are those where it is not directly related to one subject as well, but it's more like an ability to do something. You already know that. Watch this. So transversal competencies are things like creativity, collaboration, conflict resolution, communication skills, and teamwork. See, the word looks so complicated. Transversal competencies. What do you mean by it? All these are some of the aspects. Now, in all your curriculum programs, whatever has got updated, we did have 21st century skills of 4 C's: creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking. Now they are called as transversal competencies, and the children impart this with school-based assessment. The more the activities, the better they are. Co-curricular activities and school-based assessment, please do not get confused. Co-curricular are completely different. They're non-academic. They are non-academic. But school-based assessment has to be as much academic oriented as possible from application point of view. Right from observation to authentic assessments to peer assessments, everything has to be as academic as possible. Getting an example of non-academic activity, co-curricular activity, and bringing it under school-based assessment, again, somewhere your cumulative score will not actually tell you where the children are standing. So that is another important point that they're mentioned in the course. So that's pretty much about the complete school-based assessment, teachers. But right now, I would also like to show you whatever we have spoken is already present. So what's going to be there as a takeaway in this particular session from SuperTeacher? So I would say that we can use an AI tool, AI tool, from where you can generate activities related to school-based assessment. And this particular platform is none other than, if you have already used this, please tell me yes on the chat. This is called as Chat GPT. I think most of you know that. Teachers, if you did not receive your certificate, don't worry about it. Please write a mail to connect@superteacher.in. As I told you, the number of participants have increased, so I'm doing it manually. So there are some delays. 15 days it will take at least for me to send a particular certificate. So today, if you have attended on 11th June, please wait till 26th or 27th of June to get the certificate of this week. I'm trying to make the process a little faster, but until 15 days, I would request you to please be patient and wait for the certificate, and you will be getting it. So you will be receiving the last Sunday's workshop certificate by I think next Monday, something like that. Yeah. Okay, you'll get it as of now. Last week means only 7 days has happened, right? 15 days request 2 weeks, right? So wait for another 1 week, you'll definitely get it, teachers. Now let me get into ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT is fantastic AI tool. Somewhere most of you already know about it. And under ChatGPT, you've got this AI model wherein whatever you ask for, it will respond for you. So if at all there is anyone out there who already knows what AI is all about, then this is going to be a cakewalk. For the people who are using for the first time, just assume this to be another guide for you. But make sure whenever you use ChatGPT, you ask the right questions. For example, I am a social studies teacher. See, I'm typing it under the chat. I am a social studies teacher. I am teaching the students of grade 8 in a CBSE school in India. Now, the moment I say this and press enter, so the chat is going to say that that's great. As a social studies teacher, you have an important, let it get loaded. And look at this. You'll be surprised to see that ChatGPT comes up with fantastic responses on whatever you ask for. That's interesting, right? Let me come down. So it says that that's great. As a social studies teacher, you have an important role in helping students develop a deeper understanding of the world around them. Social studies encompasses various disciplines, blah, 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 like geography, civics, economics. And then he says that to effectively teach grade 8 students in CBSE school in India, here are some general tips. That is also they're giving. So I'm going to say that thank you. Thank you for the tips. But right now, I want few references of activities to be conducted in my class. You've already told grade 8, so you don't have to repeat it. In my class for a creative project work. Suggest some. Now, the moment you put this, it will come up with all the tips for coming up with the activities. So one is historical timeline. Ask students to create a visual timeline showcasing important events and periods in Indian history. Cultural exhibition. Have students research and prepare a cultural exhibition focusing on a particular state or region of India. Mapping India. Human rights campaign. Economic entrepreneurship. All these are some of the tips. If at all anyone out there says that I don't have time to conduct school-based assessment, yes, you are right. That's quite possible because you've got the academics as well. But if you say that I don't have ideas, then we are wrong somewhere, because we already have too many platforms out there on internet to find these ideas. According to me, ChatGPT does a very good work. Again, you can say that these are good, but I need the steps of conduction. Now, the moment you say steps of conduction, it'll even tell how to divide the children into multiple groups. What kind of tasks are you supposed to give? So they're saying, introduce a project. Start by introducing the project to your students. Clearly explain the objectives, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to come up with proper procedure of conducting the activities with the children. So school-based assessment is definitely completely academics oriented. But the activities that you're going to give the children to assist them on whatever we spoke about require certain ideas, and those ideas could be generated from ChatGPT, according to me, as of now. Now, ChatGPT does come up with a lot of wrong suggestions. So make sure that you keep on asking multiple times. You say that whatever, this is not that great. This is not that great. Could you please come up with better steps? Now, again, it'll go back and improve itself. Then again, say this is not that great. Could you come back with better steps? At least tell ChatGPT 3 to 4 times or 5 times. The 6th time, whatever you get will be the best. And use the content of the 6th response and try talking to children. I hope everybody is able to understand this, teachers. So ChatGPT could be helpful for all the subjects. It could be for, see, now it's coming up. Here's an alternative steps for conducting creative project work, and introduction and goal setting. They're coming up with a few other steps with a little bit of modification here and there. And this could be for any other subject also. It can even develop a program in Hindi. So agar, I think we did this. I'm just stopping generating. Suggest a project work on Kabir Das ke Dohe. I tried this last time also, but it was a project work on Kabir Das ke Dohe for Hindi subject. Now I'm just randomly giving something in Hindi. Let us see if it's getting. And here's a step by step. It says that in Hindi, introduction to Kabir Das, begin blah blah. Okay, it says that. I say this is great, but generate the same in Hindi script. Now, I did not mention in the script beginning. Right now only I'm doing it so that it becomes improvised a little bit more. And you can even give the grade a little later so that you can have a better understanding of this. So यहाँ हिंदी में कबीर दास के दोहे पर परियोजना कार्य के लिए एक कदम से कदम guide है. And you have got the complete list out there. So this is with respect to Hindi. Now this can go for Tamil, this can go for Bengali, this can go for Kannada, this can go for Malayalam, or Gujarati or Marathi, any language. ChatGPT is able to respond to all the languages. So if you want to get some ideas on school-based assessment, you can get into the details of ChatGPT as well for more activities. So that brings us to the end of the webinar on school-based assessment teachers. I think with this webinar, you would have got some insights about what exactly school-based assessments are. And in a nutshell, this particular screen itself is more than sufficient for you to understand what we intended to speak. You can take a screenshot of this and probably use it if required. Yeah, that's it. Now, let me stop share the screen. So one last announcement, teachers, if at all you have any queries, you can please put it to swati@superteacher.in. You will be getting all the certificates, and just ensure that you join the Super Sunday workshop. We are doing it completely, preparing a lot on multiple circulars, and whatever I'm speaking, I make sure that it's completely genuine and not even a single point is taken from outside. So you can trust me on that. But in spite of that, even if you have 1% doubt, or you need clarifications, whatever the link that we are sharing, make sure you go there and check it once or twice before implementing it in the schools. So that is more like a disclaimer, but you can trust us for sure. Don't worry about it. So that's it from my side for this Sunday, teachers, for 11th June. It was great interacting with one and all. We are running continuous professional development CPD, mandatory CPD batches for 25 hours. And the last batch for this academic year, we are starting it on 26th June. If anybody's interested, you can go to superteacher.in website, or you can directly ask me or Swati. You can mail it to us. We are launching the inquiry form also. If you have any queries, you can please enter the details in the inquiry form, and you can let us know. If you're not receiving the certificate, you can put it in the inquiry form also, or else you can directly mail Swati also. You will be definitely getting the certificates. Remember, these certificates are more like some steps towards your career aspects, not accounted for CPD. If at all it needs to get accounted, you need to join the actual CPD program that we conduct. So that's a little bit of marketing from my side. Thank you so much, teachers. Chat GPT is yeah, Preeti ma'am, I would request you to please Google it a little bit, considering this time frame. I could not get into the details. Yeah, so do not put your queries of you did not receive the certificate on Zoom chat, because once I close this, it will go away. Put it on inquiry form or mail it to us on swati@superteacher.in. I hope this Sunday was beneficial again from another announcement point of view from CPSC. Thank you so much for participating. It was great interacting with one and all. And there are many participants who are there on a regular basis. Shubhra ma'am, Rama ma'am, Sahana ma'am, Vaishali ma'am. You've got Vasudev sir, Reali, Pallavi Sharma. So thank you so much. It really means a lot. Vasundhara ma'am, thank you so much. Tajinder Kaur, Suchishmita, Tarun, Nalini, Tanishtha. It means a lot. I've been seeing, and your regular participation makes sure that I sit on my seat's edge and prepare regularly. So make sure I do that, and you also keep participating and know more about our Indian education system. Thank you so much, teachers. I'm going to close the call for today. I'll meet you again on another fantastic topic the next Super Sunday. Bye, everyone. Happy weekend. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fatima ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jaya ma'am. Means a lot. Inquiry form is coming on the chat. Join our Telegram group community. Saida ma'am, 15 days. Sahana ma'am, thank you. Archana ma'am, inquiry form is coming on the chat. Tanishta ma'am, Sandhya ma'am, thank you so much. Join our LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn, teachers. That itself will give you, if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, make sure you create one right now, today itself. It's very important. You're getting so much of updates over there. Rather than spending time on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn can give you very good progress. Sometimes it will be very intimidating. Everybody's doing very nice things. What am I doing? But don't worry, wo bas aage thodi din ki baat hai, but after that you will also get habituated to it. Thank you so much, other people. Dilip sir, thank you. Vrinda ma'am. Yeah, we will be getting the certificates for all the Super Sunday workshop today as well, but after 15 days. That means by 26th or 27th of June, you will be getting it. Thank you, Gurpreet, Aishwarya, Garima, Dhanashri ma'am. You've already registered in the Zoom to join the session, and from there I'll match with the participant list in the Zoom. Based on that, I'll know that how many people had attended the session, and certificates will be issued to the people. Shashwati ma'am, I hope I answered your question, right, ma'am? Oh, is that so? That's great. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Satish Kumar sir, thank you so much. Okay, done. Yeah, sometimes we'll get into the details of how to conduct these activity for respective subject as well. As of now, Super Sunday workshop, I'm keeping it as open as possible so that everybody gets benefited out of it. If at all a school requires an individual subject wise focus, a 2 or 3 hour session, please let us know. I can do that as well. Thank you, Harpreet ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Razia ma'am. Thank you, Tejas. Yes, Yes, counseling and special education, we are planning it. So I need to be very thorough about whatever I speak. So that's the reason it's taking time. Thank you, Sashwati ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Asha ma'am. Thank you so much. I hope everybody got benefited out of this. Thank you so much. LinkedIn link is coming on the Zoom chat room, ma'am. Just stay on the call for some more time. It'll be there. One big paragraph will come. You just see that right now. Yeah, Kavita, Praveen, Mekhla, Sushma. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, Rumpi ma'am, it has come. It has come on the chat. You can check now. Thank you, Kanchan ma'am. Thank you, Pinku. Thank you, Alu Mukherjee. Thank you so much. Great, great. Fill up the inquiry form that is also coming on the chat separately. Great. So that's it for today's Sunday, teachers. Thank you so much. Now it's family time. Happy weekend to one and all. See you in the next Sunday program. Bye, everyone.